Hello, Targar friends. Hey, everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for another Orc Mode workout. And some good and some bad stuff happened with today's workout. Speed bench went great, push press, not so much. That back work yesterday really got to me, but I'm identifying my weaknesses on it, and we'll get to that in a minute. So, speed bench, did 10 triples today with bands. So, people need to understand, I'm going to be doing all this stuff in 3-week blocks. Or 3-week waves, depending on how you want to define it, because I'm going to be changing the resistance throughout each of the 3-week blocks. So it's going to be kind of wave loading. And I started pretty light today. Yeah, I know it's 205 plus band tension. And yes, there's band tension at the bottom, and it's not an enormous amount. I'm using red bands. It's going to bring some questions up when it comes to things like speed bench. Now, is it possible for some of my chain work I might pause? Yes. However, with bands, we get a unique situation to where we get overspeed eccentrics, which means that we can get a much stronger stretch reflex than you would normally get out of a bench press. And since I'm so light at the bottom, I'm not going to get any pause bench benefit. That's why I'm doing heavy pause bench on Tuesdays after my other max effort work, right? Like this week, I did a bunch of singles with 315 paused, meet legal, all of that, because we need the extra pause work. But 205, like there's no, I'm not going to get any benefits whatsoever by pausing with 205, right? It's not going to do anything. I'm going to develop no strength off my chest with that light of a weight. So it's almost a moot point when it comes to like band work with a speed bench. But what I can get is the stretch reflex, right? You're getting a stretch reflex that comes from the band snapping down on you and then accelerating against the band. So as far as real dynamic effort work, there's a benefit to doing it this way on this. Now, I understand that I looked a little bit looser on my first couple sets, and and yes, it took me a couple sets to get into my groove here. So what we are trying to do with speed benching with bands is that you're trying to reverse it off the chest instantly, right? We're trying to drop it down fast and then reverse as soon as we're touching the chest. Or sometimes you start trying to reverse it when you're an inch from the chest, just at the bottom. So you let it snap you down fast. And that's a good thing, because historically for me, what is one of the big things that people point out for me on a max bench that really hurts my benching is I have really slow eccentrics on a max bench. I struggle. I have a mental block about bringing that bar down fast. And I waste a lot of energy, right? I'm wasting energy on a max that could be used to lift more weight. So that slow eccentric I sometimes do, and I even do it in meets, it could be costing me 10 pounds on my bench. And that's the name of the game at this point, guys. I'm trying to get every single pound I can out of all of my lifts through any means necessary, and I'm going to use every tool at my disposal. That's one reason I'm trying to explain to people, look, minimalist training works for novice lifters. Minimalist training is good for people who have limited time. It is very, very efficient. But efficient and optimal are two different things, and people need to remember that. Jamie Lewis has been known to say that. There's a reason he broke records, is that he points out efficient isn't optimal. Most of you who are going to be recreational lifters, efficient matters. Because let's be honest, I don't care what you kids are doing now. Yeah, you might be in college and you have plenty of free time to go to the gym. What's going to happen when you're a real adult with real responsibilities and you're not a serious athlete, right? You're not going to have time to go do a lot of this fluff and pump workouts and endless sets of accessory movements. You probably aren't. And there's a certain threshold to where a lot of people will have to adopt a minimalist program to compensate for their lifestyle. And it works. And if you learn how to do minimalist programs, it will allow you to maintain good gains in things through those years where you might have a couple year block. You know, what's going to happen for a lot of you? You get married, you have a career, you have your first kid, right? You're damn well going to need minimalist training at that point. If you want to keep your size and strength, you're going to need it. I, however, am a professional YouTuber at this point. And I know some people say, what do you mean? You couldn't be making that much. Well, I'm not going to get into what I make, but it's probably 10 times what you think it is. So, yes, I am a professional YouTuber. Yes, I am probably going to do some other side things again to supplement my income, but this is pretty much my gig right now. And I have plenty of free time to train. Right? I have plenty of free time to train. I have plenty of free time to recover and sleep and everything else. So my lifestyle is geared around recovery, which means I can keep doing more volumes, more workloads. I mean, I have to work with fatigue management. I have to work with deloads and all of that. But I'm in a unique situation to where I can do more. I can maximize. I can use every tool available at my disposal. I can train optimally, which means I can rotate in little smaller fluff and pump exercises. I can do all this dynamic stuff. I can work all these things in. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to leave nothing off the table at this point. We can't be dogmatic. We can't be dogmatic. I have to get strong, and I have to get strong not just for my age. I don't want to be strong for a 40-something-year-old guy. I need to be strong, period. So push press. This didn't go as good. Speed bench felt fantastic, by the way. Push press. Between the fatigue off the speed bench and my lower back yesterday, or not really my lower back, but my middle back, all that back work, I struggled. Look at that 205. I almost didn't lock it. And I'm trying to learn to dip less and just use faster drive. I have a lot of work to do still learning this exercise. And I noticed something. I noticed my triceps don't feel weak on it anymore. My other weak links are coming out on this. So I obviously need to learn how to dip and drive better. There is that. And I dropped down. I realized that 205 is just too heavy for me today. I need to learn some fundamentals on this exercise. So I dropped down to 185 and did some sets of 5. I noticed my middle back was just excruciatingly fatigued. I noticed it with the 205. It just cramped up. And it's because I did box squats yesterday, but then I did all those speed pulls on sumo with bands. And then I did 5 sets of 10 on barbell rows, and then I did good mornings and all that. My middle back was shot, and it really affected my push press. I felt it there. Like I felt it cramping as I was trying to push press, but I also noticed my side delts. My side delts were very, very fatigued. I could feel them almost like they were giving out as I was trying to push press, right? So what does that tell me? It tells me my side delt is a weak link now. Well, what do we do with our weak links? Because why are we doing the push press? To get better at just general full body strength and pressing, improve my bench. Well, if I know that I have a muscle that's a weak link in my push press and I have the recovery ability to train optimally, that means I need to come in and train that muscle too. Now, I'm not going to do it today. I'll probably rotate it in next week. It's time to start doing some lateral raises again. And again, because if I know my side delt is a weak link on this push press and I only want to do the push press once a week, yeah, I failed that rep. That's it. My delts were shot. They were just done. They didn't have anything left. But if that's what I need to do, then that's what I need to do. I need to do some lateral raises. Come in and build that area up. Put some size on whatever my weakest links are on these big lifts. Because if that allows me to lift more weight, then I'll get stronger. Bring up all your weak links. You get stronger. If I get stronger on the push press, it'll improve my bench, right? So that's what we're doing. Today, like Tuesdays and Fridays, are going to be dedicated to every tool I can find at my disposal to improve my bench press. All right, that's why I rotated my back work into my squat and deadlift days. It's going to be what can we do to improve my bench? And that means how do we improve even our accessories? So the JM press is coming along nicely, right? The JM press is coming good. I'm getting stronger at it. My work capacity's up. I was able to do 5 sets of 10 today with this new weight instead of 3 sets of 10. It was challenging, but it's coming up. So this will improve my bench. The speed bench will improve my bench. The extra pause benching will improve my bench. Everything's about improving the bench on these 2 days. Bench is my weak link. It needs to come up. And if I'm weak on some of my accessories for the bench, like the push press isn't going as well as my strict press, then I need to bring that up. Train all your weaknesses until they are no longer weaknesses. So yeah, I'm pretty much bench specializing right now. Yes, I'm working on bringing my squat and deadlift up, and I am, but my bench is lagging. So I am bench specializing, and that means accessory movements, assistance movements, everything that we have to do to make my bench come up, and I'm leaving nothing off the table. There's no room for me to be dogmatic. I need to do what all the different champions and coaches have done to deal with these situations. Look at what all of them do, make it happen. And we need to get orky as possible, as strong as possible, which means I even did hammer curls here at the end. Now, People are going to be like, oh my God, Jason, doing 15 to 20 rep sets on hammer curls. Yeah, because that's what I have available for dumbbells, and that's how many reps I can do. So why hammer curls? I've discussed hammer curls years ago. If you guys sort back 4 or 5 years, I specifically explained how hammer curls can improve your bench press. You can create a cushion around your elbow that helps compress. It helps stabilize your elbow joint, helps stabilize the tricep better. And if you create a cushion, not just with your bicep, but your bicep, brachialis, brachioradialis, all of those muscles where they can compress against each other by building them up, you can add sometimes another 5 to 10 pounds to your bench, right? Same reason people would wear elbow sleeves, right? Why would you wear elbow sleeves? To spring you out of the bottom of the bench, right? It helps you cheat. Well, you can use muscles to spring yourself out of the bottom of a lift too. So if you can build that area up around the elbow and you can use it to compress against, it can create a little bit of a springing effect out of the bottom of the bench at your elbow joint. Do whatever it takes. You're not going to get those muscles big enough to take you out of a weight class. You're not going to add 5 pounds of muscle to your bicep and upper forearm. It's not going to happen. So it's a non-issue. So build them up. It's not really a big deal. And what's the other thing there? Those same muscles are my limiting factor on my rows. I always feel my rows just in my biceps and in that area. So add meat there. Strengthen it up. If my rows improve, my deadlift will improve. My bench stability will improve. So this is an accessory movement that's going to do a couple things for me. And it doesn't affect my tendons the same way. I love chin-ups, and I almost don't want to put them in my exercise graveyard, but it seems like every time I train chin-ups really heavy for a while and get good at them again, my tendons get inflamed. Well, these don't inflame those tendons. And this is a little bit more bench specific. So yeah, I'm going to do hammer curls for a while. Again, build those areas up. And yes, is it going to be almost pump work? Of course it is. But we're doing it after our real training. That's where I tell people my problem is. I have a problem with fluff and pump when it's used as your primary training. People will neglect their important lifts to do this stuff. All right, this should be done as an afterthought after your training is done if you have energy and recovery left. That's the place for exercises like this. But when you're an advanced lifter and you have muscles that if you brought them up a little bit and you have the recovery to train them, fine, do some small work for them. As long as you understand that that's what it is. It's not real training. It's just metabolic fatigue. You should probably find ways to train those muscles through a full range of motion, hit them with some volume, and bring them up. Bring them up in a way that's not going to interfere with your recovery. But it can't replace your real training, right? This can't replace barbell rows. It can't replace them. It's a supplemental lift. You have to look at it that way. And yeah, I got 20 reps on this 4 set. I went ahead and took it to failure. I managed to get 20, and these are the dumbbells I have for now. I just have 25, so I'm going to have to do really high reps on this. But that's okay because I'm fatigued at this point, and these feel heavy enough when I get to 15 to 20 reps, so they'll work for now. So I hope it has been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.